Kyle Shanahan was asked point blank, all right, well, you won't rule out Jimmy Garoppolo being on the team in training camp this season. If he's here, will there be a quarterback competition? He's like, well, I don't want to talk about that yet, but I wouldn't rule it out. I mean, it probably would make both guys better. What do you think about the very likely possibility there will be a quarterback competition at camp this year, Amin?
I mean, obviously, if he's on the roster, there has to be a quarterback competition, right? Like, what is he gonna do? Not compete for the starting job? But obviously is gonna be a quarterback competition. But the way I look at it is, yes, if you can't get a trade, obviously cut Jimmy Garoppolo. But do I think the Niners will do that? No. But there obviously will be a quarterback competition. But the issue that I feel like with having a quarterback competition is that if Jimmy Garoppolo has the same contract going into next year, it's like, how would the Niners justify having Jimmy Garoppolo? If Trey Lance wins the job, how would the 49ers justify keeping Jimmy Garoppolo on the bench? He'll be the most highest paid bench backup quarterback in the NFL history. Yeah. Right? So like, I don't get how you could justify that. So, I mean, there obviously will be a quarterback competition if he stays. Now, I don't think he should, but there obviously will be a quarterback competition, and Trey should win if Jimmy Garoppolo's coming out of shoulder surgery. Now, if Trey doesn't win, there's some concerns there, because if you can't beat out a guy who had shoulder surgery, and I think Trey can beat out Jimmy Garoppolo, and just watching the leaked tapes that, Javi Vega, put on Twitter and things like that, Trey was lighting it up and making flashy plays and, making throws sidearms and things like that. But as long as Jimmy Garoppolo's on the roster going into next year, there is going to be a quarterback competition. He's going to compete for the job. He's not going to be like, all right, Trey, you can have the job, you can be the starter. He's going to compete for the job for sure.
Coach, is that a good thing?
No. The moment we've talked about this, the moment they drafted Trey Lance, this team's future in the present should have been all about Trey Lance. Yeah. And you keep Jimmy Garoppolo there, what's he going to do? He's going to take reps away from Trey Lance. A guy that needs those reps.
Imagine how much simpler this offseason would be right now if Trey Lance had played last year.
Yeah.
But he didn't. So now we're in the same conundrum. Sorry,
and
keep going.
You're not setting your young QB up for productivity, because Trey Lance isn't going to have to beat out Jimmy Garoppolo. He's going to have to beat out the man, the myth, the legend. He's going to have to defeat, like, not just Jimmy's play on the field, but his
win over the locker room.
He's
going to have to convince the locker room, I'm the leader of this team now, not Jimmy Garoppolo. And there's a lot of skeptical people on that team.
Like, right, and there's a lot of things, and there's certain things that I don't even know that he can even do, because their perception on the team, and we've heard this from so many different sources, is that Jimmy will just lead us to a win. And the only way Trey can do that is actually by being on the field and playing in actual games. Like, he can't even do that in preseason, because they'll win a preseason game and then they'll be like, oh, it's preseason. That doesn't mean anything. So it's just not a good situation for him. He should be put in the best position. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, competition is great. Competition is good. Like, not in this manner, right? Not when it's the quarterback that was there before and people have a connection to him. It's not setting him up for optimum success.
Yeah, I'm with you. You guys said it. First of all, he needs reps. This is the last thing. You want to cut his reps in half. I mean, the whole idea is to get him as ready as possible for this season, because you didn't play him last year. And now you're going to give him half a camp. And if he struggles, you can't use it as an excuse, even though it would be. So, don't do that. And then also the fact that it's not an honest quarterback competition. You got media people with agendas. You got people in the locker room who've already made up their mind. I mean, in my opinion, there wasn't a real quarterback competition last year, because Jimmy Garoppolo got 95% of the first team reps, but he wasn't good in camp. He played himself out of the job. He threw a pick to a linebacker like every day and smiled afterward, and the Niners didn't care. So, I mean, really, how is it going to be a true meritocracy? Are they really going to say the best person won, or is it in the eye of the beholder, right? If Trey Lance scrambles for 10 yards, are there going to be half the people on the team saying, hey, George Kittle was open, you should have thrown to George Kittle for 7 yards or 10 yards? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all in the eye of the beholder. So I'm just saying, I thought he won last year. And apparently Kyle Shanahan disagreed. He said he wasn't ready last year. I thought he was. So I think this is a terrible freaking idea. Kyle, you keep taking a backseat on your own team. Be like, it'll play out. We'll just let this play out. Nah, dude, you're the leader. Why don't you make a decision for once?
And
I'm talking directly to Kyle.
And going into the season, right? If you keep Jimmy Garoppolo on the roster, let's say going into the season, if Trey wins the starting job, right, and Trey is the starter, if Trey, what?
Well, that's our next topic. I don't want to get into it, but you hold on to that thought.